about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A potential killer is on the loose in your city. He's robbed 6 people. For no reason at all, he beats his victims senseless. He moves fast. He's well armed. Your job? Stop him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima for a new year of greater smoking enjoyment.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, March 8th. It was windy in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from the record bureau. It was 11:45 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
Joe?
Hi, Bill.
Romero called about 5 minutes ago. He's on his way in from Georgia Street.
Oh, thank you. The captain still around?
He's gone for the night. You can catch him at home if you want to. Trouble?
The rattlesnake bandit. Got 2 more couples tonight.
Right. Bad?
About the same as the last 3 jobs he pulled. Pretty vicious. Gave the victims a bad going over.
Who are they?
Young salesman, his girlfriend. They were parked up in the Silver Lake area. Bandit robbed him. When he didn't find enough money in the young fellow's wallet, he pistol whipped him, messed him up quite a bit.
Why'd he do that?
Oh, there's no reason for it. The young girl in the car had an engagement ring on. She offered to hand it over. The bandit pulled her out of the car, punched her in the face, hit her quite a few times. Guy just seems to be looking for blood, that's all.
No leads on him, huh?
No, not so far. It looks like I'm out. Have you got any aspirin, Bill?
Yeah, I got a fresh bottle this afternoon.
Lousy headache. I've had it all night.
How about the thief's M.O.? The same, huh?
Well, it has been so far. He works the outlying districts, parking areas. Doesn't seem to be any reason at all for these sluggings. The victims all agree on that. No provocation at all. The guy just seems to get a kick out of punching in somebody's face.
2 pills in it?
Oh, yeah, that's fine, thank you.
Boys in robbery turn up anything?
No, neither have we. Bandit operates in hot cars. He's got a few good prints to work with. No make, though.
The guy works alone, huh?
Well, he did for the first 2 jobs. Last few times he had a bright-looking blonde with him. Good-looking, you know. Nice figure. Victims say that she stands by and just seems to egg him on. Seems to get a big thrill out of it, I guess.
Hi, Bill. Bill? Hi.
How'd you do, man?
Doctor didn't think it'd be a good idea to bother him too much tonight. We can talk to him tomorrow.
Well, how about the hold-up man's description? Did you get that?
Yeah, from the girl. Matches what the other victims gave us. She didn't see the getaway car, though. Didn't have a chance.
Well, how about the young fellow? Is he still unconscious?
Yeah, they're going to move him to the county hospital. You should have seen his face.
Yeah?
Terrible. It's a mess.
This bandit's girlfriend, the blonde, nothing at all on her?
Victim says she's got a nice figure and good looking. Quite a few like that in Los Angeles.
What are they getting out of these stick-ups anyway? Can't be too much, huh?
Oh, that's just it. None of the heists have netted them more than $50. Hardly worth the trouble.
Hot shot.
I'll get it.
What is it?
Wait a minute. Rattlesnake bandit. He got another couple.
Where?
South end of Echo Park.
Yeah?
He shot both of them. Together with Cummings and McCready from Homicide, Ben and I drove to the scene of the holdup and shooting in the Echo Park area. The victims were identified as Ralph Younger, 34, a high school English teacher. He'd been beaten severely about the face and neck and shot once through the right shoulder. His companion was a Thelma Donovan, 26, a grade school teacher. She'd been shot through the temple just above the eyes. She was still alive, but in a critical condition. We questioned Ralph Younger briefly before he was removed by ambulance to the Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. His description of the holdup man tallied exactly with that of the Rattlesnake Bandit. He also gave us the description and license number of the getaway car. We got out a broadcast and an APB. A routine check of the area failed to turn up any leads. 11 a.m. the next morning, Ralph Younger told us the story from his hospital bed.
I was teaching Thelma how to drive, Sergeant. We were going along that side street when the sedan pulled up, forced us over to the curb.
And your friend, Miss Donovan, was sitting in the driver's seat then?
That's right. I got out on my side and started over to ask this fellow what he was doing, crowding us like that. He rushed up to me and started slugging me in the face with his gun. I went down.
Mm-hmm. What did Miss Donovan do?
She started hollering for help. The hold-up guy ran over and shoved his gun at her. He had it pointed at her head. And he grabbed Thelma's purse and started looking through it. For money, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Say, would you mind moving this pillow over a little bit?
Oh, sure, gotcha. Oh, there we are. There, how's that, okay?
Oh, under the shoulder, please.
All right.
Yeah.
There you are.
That's fine. Thanks.
Were you lying on the street while all this was going on, Mr. Younger?
No, he yanked me to my feet, made me stand by the car with my hands up. Thelma was crying. The hold-up man looked through her purse, and then he said, "Who are you trying to kid, lady? You got more money than this." Thelma told him the truth. It was all she had, $3.
Well, what happened then?
He shoved the barrel of the gun against her head, right here by the temple. Then I heard the gun go off. Thelma fell over in the seat. There wasn't any reason for it. No reason at all. He just shot her.
Well, what did you do then? Do you remember?
I jumped for the man. I wanted to kill him right there. He turned and fired the gun at me. Hit me right here, below the shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Then he ran out and got in his car and drove off. There was a blonde girl with him. I got a good look at her. Blonde, pretty, attractive.
Mm-hmm. Well, is there anything else about the man's description that you might have forgotten to tell us last night?
No, I don't think so. I gave you the license number of his car. Can't you find him that way?
It was a stolen car, Mr. Younger. He took it from one of his other victims. It was found out in Wilshire this morning. Bandit.
I only wish I'd got my hands on him. Poor Thelma. How is she, do you know?
Well, there's no late report. Maybe you better check with the doctor, huh?
Yeah. Hey, before you go, would you mind ringing this button here? It's for the nurse. The shoulder's giving me trouble again.
Yeah, okay.
Well, thanks very much, Younger. Sure hope that shoulder of yours gets better.
I hope so.
Goodbye. We'll be checking with you later on.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, then.
Romero, Joe.
How'd you do, Bill? Checked with the doctor. Donovan girl's still unconscious. Pretty critical.
Mm-hmm. What'd the doc say? She gonna pull through?
She might. They can't tell yet. One thing sure, though.
What's that?
The bullet did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
She's totally blind.
4 days before a bullet from the holdup gun had blinded schoolteacher Thelma Donovan for life, the Rattlesnake Bandit and his blonde girlfriend were unknown to the city of Los Angeles. In the space of little more than 96 hours, they'd robbed and slugged a dozen people from one end of the city to the other. In every case, the attacks were just about as brutal and vicious as they were unprovoked. The amount of money taken from each victim was negligible. The only apparent conclusion was that the bandit and his girlfriend were out for blood. That night, despite a citywide alert to all radio cars and patrolmen, the suspects robbed and slugged two more couples between the hours of 10 p.m. and midnight. Between midnight and 1:30 a.m., they got two more victims. 2:30 a.m., Ben and I got back to the city hall, the carpool.
Sixton Spring, 118 Sixton Spring. Meet the officer holding your
Looks like a place over there, huh?
Mm-hmm. Wonder how McCready and Cummings made out.
I hope they got more than we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is good right here.
Want to get the radio, Joe?
Yeah, fine. Let's go.
Doggone it. I knew I forgot something.
What's that?
Cigarettes. You got any left?
I don't think so. Old pack is all. No, there's one left in here.
No, that's all right. I can't take your last smoke.
Well, go ahead. There's a machine upstairs by the elevator. I'll get some.
All right. I sure better get these shoes half soled. I'll be walking around in my stocking feet pretty soon.
You just got them a couple of weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. Tops are as good as new. Soles of the darn things went just like that. No wonder they had them on sale.
Yeah. In just a minute, I want to get those smokes.
Oh, yeah. Skipper say he was going to stay around?
Until about 2, yeah. He's probably gone by now.
Yeah, it's a long day. Anything in the book?
Just a minute. Yeah, your wife called. I want you to get a refill on that prescription for your little boy.
Oh.
Hiya. How'd you two do?
Nothing. How about you?
Chandler called from robbery a minute ago. Thinks they may have something.
Yeah?
At 211, big service station out on Pico. Holdup man had a blonde in the car with him.
What about description?
Jibes pretty well with the guy we're after.
Well, the M.O. doesn't. That thief and his girl haven't tried anything but car holdup since they started.
How'd they manage the job?
Well, you know how they've been operating for transportation. They rob the people, steal their car. When they reach another victim, they transfer to his car. First time they switched that system was tonight.
Hold up on South Hoover, the man and his wife. Huh?
Instead of changing over, they stayed in the blue Chevy coupe. Same one they took in the job before that. Up to now, they've used the same hot car in the last 3 jobs.
Sure going to help if they stick with it. What about the gas station attendant?
Well, excuse me, probably Chandler. Homicide Cummings. Yeah, Glenn. Uh-huh. 5 Paul, 389. Right, thanks. They dug up a witness to the gas station job. Suspects drove off in the blue Chevy coupe. License 5 Paul 389.
Same car, huh?
It stops me. What was the take?
$23. Slugged the attendant, took off. The broadcast's out. Area's been alerted. Nothing yet.
Okay, Ben.
Yep. Sure is growing into a long night.
Yeah, you going to cover, huh, Bill?
Yeah, till Fergie gets back.
Right. Well, we'll be checking with you.
Guy? Homicide Romero. Yeah. How's that? Yeah, right, thanks. Drugstore on South Fig, 211, slugging. Blonde girl drove the escape car.
Yeah?
5 Paul, 389.
In the next 3 hours before dawn, the rattlesnake bandit and his blonde girlfriend held up and robbed a restaurant and 2 more service stations and made good their escape. For some unknown reason, they continued to use the same stolen car, the blue Chevrolet coupe. By noontime the following day, composite pictures of the holdup couple were drawn up by the crime lab artist from the descriptions given by the victims. The pictures were printed up and given wide distribution throughout the city. The description and license number of the escaped car was in the hands of every radio car and patrolman in all divisions. The search was intensified. It got us nothing. The following night and early morning, without even slowing their pace, the suspects added 4 more holdups and sluggings to their credit. One of the victims was Fred Lerner, proprietor of a small lunch counter near 18th and Olive.
I've been held up before, officer, 6 times. Never saw a punk as hard-looking as this guy, though.
You're sure about the description, Mr. Lerner?
Well, he stood just as close as you're standing to me now. Wild look in his eye, waving that gun around. I wasn't taking any chances. I gave him everything.
Well, how much was that?
$18.50.
Well, how about the getaway car? You're pretty sure of the make and the color?
Well, I ran to the door there as soon as they left. Saw him drive off. There's the license, just as I wrote it down. It's 5P389. I saw the whole thing. Sure surprised Lois would tie up with a punk like him.
Lois? Who's that?
Well, you know, the blonde who drives the car for him, Lois Hagen.
Well, how do you know that's her name?
She used to be a waitress, worked for my brother. Lois Hagen, blonde. I spotted her right away in that car.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure, Lois. Didn't you know it was her?
7:30 a.m. We put in a call to the record bureau and had them check on the name and description of Lois Hagen. No make, no previous record. With the help of Fred Lerner and his brother, we traced the Hagen girl to a drive-in where she used to work. There, we checked the employment records and got an address on her. 1800 Norwich Drive. Turned out to be a small apartment house in West Hollywood. Ben checked with the landlady while I waited in the car.
Train to point 2. 1 KB, train to point 2, McKinnon, 135.
Well, that's it.
What'd you get?
Talked to the landlady. She's managed the apartment for 16 years.
Yeah?
She never heard of Lois Hagen.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. And now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima for a new year of greater smoking enjoyment. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Tuesday, March 13th. That night and the one following, the Rattlesnake Bandit and his blonde girlfriend, supposedly Lois Hagen, continued their campaign of holdups and sluggings. They robbed 2 liquor stores, an all-night cafe, a cigar shop, and 2 more service stations. In each case, the descriptions of the suspects and their getaway car was the same. Routine investigations got nowhere. Ben and I went to work checking out the thin lead that we had on the girl known as Lois Hagen. After 3 days of pounding the pavement and asking questions, we found 2 former waitresses at drive-in restaurants who had worked with Lois Hagen. Both of them gave us addresses where they thought the Hagen girl had lived at one time. One of them was a phony. It was a vacant lot. The other panned out. It was a rooming house out in the Boyle Heights district. The manager told us that the Hagen girl lived there 2 years before. She told us that as far as she knew, the girl's mother, a Mrs. Ernestine Hagen, still ran a small French laundry on South Hobart Boulevard. We found Mrs. Hagen working in her shop. She was a small, thin woman with gray hair.
Yes, I have a daughter, Lois. What's the matter?
I'd like to talk to her, Miss Hagen. Do you know where we can locate her?
Probably sounds funny to you. I haven't seen my daughter in 2 years.
Well, do you have any idea where she's living, ma'am?
No, she's not much of a daughter. We didn't get along. As I say, 2 years ago, we had an argument. She left me. Never wrote a letter. I just don't know.
I see.
I heard she was living in Detroit for a while. I guess she's back here now. One of my lady friends, Mrs. McCormick, saw Lois shopping out in Hollywood. That was about a month ago.
Mm-hmm. How old is your daughter, Miss Hagen?
She'll be 20 next month. She looks older than she really is. Won't you excuse me, please? My flat iron back here. I have it heating.
Certainly, ma'am.
Do you have a copy of the composite picture of the girl?
Yeah. Yeah, it's right here.
Okay.
I didn't realize it was getting so late. I have this rush order to get ready by 4 o'clock, officers. If you want, you can come back here. We can talk while I get it out.
All right, ma'am. Thank you. Come on.
There's a chair there, if you like.
Oh, thank you.
Seems I'm always so busy lately. I used to have some fine help. It's not so easy to find anymore. This iron seems awful hot. It's all right.
I wonder if you'd mind looking at this picture, ma'am, this one here.
Yeah, all right. Mm-hmm. Looks something like Lois. You're looking for her, is that it? She done something again?
Well, we're not sure, ma'am. Has she been in trouble before?
I can't be more ashamed of her than I already am. Yeah, she's been in trouble before. She was nothing but trouble. My only child. Her father died when she was a baby, but I guess she needed a father. I couldn't do anything with her.
Was your daughter ever in any serious trouble? With the police, I mean?
I don't know, maybe. She was. I didn't hear about it. And I tried to understand her. We never got along. I don't know. This makes me sick to think about it.
Well, how about her friends, Mrs. Hagen? I mean, her recent friends. Do you happen to know any of them?
No. Lois never brought them home. I knew they were tramps. I heard the way the neighbors were talking. Trampy fellas, trampy girls, drinking, doing things. You know, she didn't learn those things at home.
Well, what was Lois' last known address? Do you have any idea at all?
Place in Boyle Heights, a boarding house. It's the last I heard of Lois. She never wrote a letter. That's another thing.
Yes, ma'am.
She could have had the best education any girl could want. I worked 12 years in the laundry here to give it to her. I sent her to the convent. Even the nuns couldn't do anything with her. She only sassed them back. She finally quit altogether. I don't know.
Can you think of anybody who might know where your daughter is? Maybe one of your relatives?
We don't have any relatives here. I have a brother in Ohio, that's all. His lace blouse is in an awful lot of trouble. Would you pull out that plug, Sergeant, please?
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if you have a picture of your daughter that we could borrow. We'll see that it's returned to you.
Yeah, all right. I got lots of pictures of Lois. She's a pretty girl, you know. Looks quite a bit like me when I was young.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thanks very much for your time.
Even the nurses at the hospital said it when Lois was born. Beautiful child. Certainly strange, isn't it?
How's that?
When they're babies, they all look so clean and so good.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens to them?
Before we left Mrs. Hagen, we got a photograph of her daughter, Lois, and then we drove back to the office. We spent the rest of the afternoon showing the picture to several of the robbery victims. All of them identified the Hagen girl as the bandit's accomplice. We got out a supplementary broadcast. That night, the holdup couple failed to put in an appearance. The following night, the same. Not a sign of them. Still no sign of the escape car either. Where they might be hiding out, we had no idea. The search went on. Repeated checks through the stats office and the record bureau failed to turn up any new leads. We stayed on it. 4 nights later, the still unidentified holdup man and Lois Hagen started in all over again. 2 drugstore holdups, 2 robberies of couples in parked cars. All of the victims were beaten senseless. Monday, March 19th, 8 a.m.
Joe?
Hi. They turn up anything last night?
2 more jobs. Both victims identified the Hagen girl as the accomplice.
Anything else?
Still using the same escape car. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, we're no closer than we were a week ago, huh?
I checked the hospital on the druggist they slugged.
How's he doing?
I don't know yet. Still unconscious.
I'll get it. Homicide, Friday. Yeah, Mike. Where? Yeah, right away.
What have you got?
32R. They're out on 18th and Hill.
Yeah?
The holdup car. They just spotted it. 8:20 a.m. Together with Cummings and McCready, we drove out to 18th and Hill, where the officers in Unit 32R had the holdup car staked out. It was parked in the back of a large service station on Hill Street near the corner of 18th. We talked with the manager, and he told us that a blonde girl answering Lois Hagen's description had left the car there earlier that morning just to have the distributor fixed and the battery recharged. She told him that she'd call for the car early that night. Because of the way that the service station was situated, it would have been impossible to stake out on the blue coupe without making it look obvious. We explained the setup to the manager and made arrangements for Ben and I to pose as employees. That way we could keep a close watch on the car until the suspects called for it. Cummings and McCready holed up in a coffee shop directly across the street. 2 teams of men from robbery covered from their vantage points. Ben and I took up our posts as supervisors of the station's 10-minute car wash.
They sure do a great business here, huh?
Yeah. You mentioned to the manager about keeping the area clear around that car, didn't you?
Yeah, it's all set up. We're not going to have an excuse in the world if we miss those two.
Yeah, if they show up.
What are we supposed to do now? Pull these tickets off the cars as they move off the wash line?
Yeah, that's all. Just slip the tickets in that box over there, see?
Mm-hmm. Must have run them a few dollars, huh, installing all this equipment.
Seems to be paying off, doesn't it? What time you got now?
A few minutes past 4.
Want to smoke?
No, I just put one out.
1 a.m. Ben spotted a young blonde girl turn the corner onto Hill and start up the street toward the service station. As she came closer, she looked to the right and the left. She paused in front of the station, looked on both sides of the street, and then she turned completely around and walked on past.
It's Lois Hagen. She's going right down to the corner. How about it?
Yeah, I'll put in with you.
How about a tail? We can't just let her walk away from us.
No, just a minute. Take a look.
She's turning around. Coming back this way. She's coming in.
Yeah, we better get back to our car. Looks like it. Come on.
Right.
The young blonde entered the garage office, paid the repair bill, and drove off in the holdup car. Ben and I followed in 80K. Cummings and McCready tailed us. The blue coupe moved 2 blocks down Hill Street and then turned into an apartment garage. We parked on the street, went in and got the manager out of bed. We showed him Lois Hagen's picture. He told us that she was registered alone in apartment 16. He failed to recognize the description of the holdup man. McCready and 3 men from robbery covered the front and back exits. Cummings, Ben, and I climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor.
Number 16.
Joe, you want to ring it?
Yeah?
Sorry, ma'am.
Bedroom, Bill.
Right, I'll take the kitchen.
Wait a minute. What is this?
Police officers. You Lois Hagen?
You get out of here. Let me in.
Bedroom's empty.
Nothing back here.
All right, where is he? Come on, let's have it.
Frank, get out! Cops, Frank, get out!
Upstairs, you.
Watch her, Bill.
I got her.
Come on, Ben.
Yep.
Upstairs, Joe. Watching?
Yeah, hold it.
Frank, get out! The cops!
Come on down, coppers. Give me room.
Give it up, mister. You haven't got a chance.
Give me room. I'm coming down.
We got the building covered, mister. Give it up.
Look out, Joe. I'll get his gun.
How is he?
Dead.
Joe, Ben, you all right?
Yeah, Bill. You want to take the girl downstairs?
Let me see him, please. Frank.
All right, lady.
Didn't have to happen. I tried to tell him, get away. He wouldn't listen. Never listened.
Let's go.
We were married yesterday. You didn't know that, did you? Just married.
Yeah.
Married 2 days.
Yeah, well, the honeymoon's over. Come on, lady.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 5th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here's our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Here's an invitation we just received from New York's famous Stork Club. Host Sherman Billingsley asked us to pass it on to you Dragnet listeners who have television sets. It reads, Fatima, best of all long cigarettes, cordially invites you to see the Stork Club on television beginning this week. Well, Dragnet welcomes the Stork Club to the Fatima family. It's a fine television show. You know the Stork Club recommends only the best, and as Sherman Billingsley says, in long cigarettes, that means extra mild Fatima. You can judge that yourself, just as I have, by comparing Fatima with other long cigarettes. Buy a pack of Fatimas. You'll find they now cost the same, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
The body of the dead hold-up man was identified as that of Frank Ralston Kilbride. His accomplice, Lois Hagen, was tried and convicted on 6 counts of armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. She received sentences as prescribed by law and is now serving her term in a state penitentiary for women. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker.
Fatima Cigarettes has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next on NBC.
lives have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned the homicide detail. A man crouches on the window ledge of a downtown building 13 stories above the street. He threatens to leap to his death within the hour. Your job, stop him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima for a new year of greater smoking enjoyment.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, September 6th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of homicide detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Steed. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from communications, and it was 1:28 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
You ready, Skipper?
Yeah, coming.
Ben, what's up?
Just got the call, 3rd and Temple.
Yeah?
Fitzroy building, 13th floor. They got a jumper.
Friday, Ben?
Let's hustle it.
Right.
What's the story? Skipper took the call.
Not much to tell. Guy's perched out on a window ledge 13 floors up, threatening to jump.
Yeah?
What time you got, Romero?
1:33.
Not much time.
What?
The guy on the ledge, he served notice.
Well, how do you mean?
Says he's going to jump at 2 o'clock.
1:36 p.m. Ben pulled the car to a stop at 3rd and Temple. We double parked near the intersection and started across the street to the building on the northeast corner. It was a steel frame structure with a block granite facing. The stone lettering over the main entrance read, R.H. Fitzroy Building, 1927. The immediate area had been blocked off in all directions. The sidewalks directly adjacent to the building on 3rd Street and on Temple Street had also been cleared of all pedestrian traffic. Hundreds of curious onlookers jammed against police lines at the far side of the intersection. Reaching back for a full block in either direction, hundreds more had packed in behind them. 13 stories above the pavement was the center of attraction, the figure of a man standing upright on a narrow ledge, looking down at the crowd. On the street directly below him, men from the fire department's rescue squad were hurriedly stretching out nets. We entered the building, took the elevator to the 13th floor.
Who's standing by up here, Skipper?
Bechtel and Wiseman. I saw the crowd gathering in the street on the way back from lunch. Looked up and saw a guy on the ledge. Came right up.
How long has the guy been standing out there?
About 15 minutes.
Sure drawing a crowd. Must be a couple of thousand people down there.
What was that room number, Friday?
1305. Yeah, it's down this way. There's Bechtel.
Beck? Hi. Been watching for you. The office is down here.
Okay. How's it stand now?
He's still out there ready to jump. We got 22 minutes to figure out how to stop him.
What's the story, anyway?
I'll let the doctor tell you. Go ahead. Through here. Nurse, where'd Dr. Turner go?
He went down to meet Dr. Rice. He's bringing him right up.
This is Captain Steed, Homicide, Miss Lanahan.
How do you do?
Sergeant Friday Romero.
How do you do?
Nurse, how are you?
Here's how he climbed outside, this window here.
Yeah.
Right now, he's standing on the ledge about 12 feet to the right of the window. The ledge is about 14 inches wide.
No other windows closer to him?
No, this is it.
Did you try to talk him out of it, get him back inside?
We took a turn at it, yeah. Wiseman crawled out on the ledge, talked to him. So did I. It's one of the queerest jumpers I've come across.
What do you mean?
He's got a hammer with him, carpenter's hammer. Whenever you get close to him, he takes a cut at you. Wiseman wasn't looking for it, had to duck fast. He almost went over.
Was there any other way to reach him?
Double-checked the whole layout. This window's the closest.
What about lowering a man from the roof?
Wide piece of cornice up there, a big overhang. Put a man down on a rope, and he'd be hanging 3 feet from the side of the building. Wouldn't come close to the guy.
How about this doctor you mentioned, Beck? You figure he can help?
It's worth a try. Miss Lenahan?
Yes, Sergeant.
You saw it happen. You know better than I do what Dr. Turner's idea is. Would you fill these men in, please? Make it brief.
Surely.
Now, this man on the ledge, who is he, do you know?
Walter Harrison's his name. He's one of the doctor's patients. His sister brought him in for a routine checkup. That was about 1 o'clock.
How old's the man?
41. His sister told us he's been complaining of a backache lately. While the doctor was examining him, and Mr. Harrison flew up all of a sudden. He yelled out we were trying to cripple him, that we wanted to kill him. Oh, excuse me, please.
Sure.
Dr. Turner's office. No, I'm sorry. Not this afternoon. We have an awful lot of trouble. Yes, all right, thank you.
Well, what happened after Harrison started to act up, Miss Lenahan?
Dr. Turner and I tried to hold him. He shoved us both out of the way. He hit the doctor in the face, then he ran to the window, got out on that ledge, and crawled along the side of the building. He's been there ever since.
Miss Harrison is a mental case?
Yes, he's been for 10 years. Been in and out of the state hospital at Camarillo a couple of times. Sister Ruth's been taking care of him. She was here when it happened.
Where is she now?
Next door, the treatment room. Thelma, that's the other nurse. She's looking after Miss Harrison. She's pretty close to hysterics.
Tried to talk to her, Skipper. Not much help so far.
Mm-hmm. You say the doctor's been treating this Mr. Harrison?
No, he just came in for a physical checkup. Dr. Reich's been handling his mental condition. That's where Dr. Turner is now, getting Reich. He has his office in the next building.
What time have you got, Ben?
It's getting short. 19 minutes to 2.
How about a time element, Beck? If he's going to kill himself, why is he waiting for 2 o'clock to do it?
He's got me. He scribbled a note out there, threw it down to the street. One of the men in the rescue squad grabbed it and brought it up. I got it right here.
Here, let me see.
Can I look at that there, too?
Mm-hmm.
They want my life. They want... What's his next one?
Dead. Dead. They want me dead.
Yeah. I'd like to pray first. I'll jump at 2 o'clock. What's this last thing, Ben? I can't read this.
Let me see. At 2 o'clock, don't touch my body. That's it. Don't touch my body.
You saw the guy at close range, Beck. What do you think? He's serious?
I don't know. I'm not even going to guess.
How about me going out and talking to him, Skipper? It might work. It won't do any harm.
That ledge is 14 inches wide, Romero. If you slip, I don't want to explain it to your wife and kid.
Well, how about me giving it a try? That jumper case last October, I was on that one.
It's volunteer duty, Joe. I'm not going to order you. You know the risk.
Yeah, I'll watch it. You want to stand by here at the window, Ben?
Yeah, okay.
Let's get that window up, huh?
Those blinds. Yeah. Those blinds up.
Okay. Give you a hand with the window.
All right. Come on. Up she goes.
It's stuck.
Yeah, it is.
All the way up, huh?
Here it goes.
Okay.
Be careful now, huh?
Yeah, I will.
Joe?
Yeah, Beck.
Don't forget about that hammer the guy's got. It's just my guess.
Yeah, what's that?
The guy might want to die. I don't think he wants to do it alone.
1:43 p.m. If we could take Walter Harrison's word for it, we had exactly 17 minutes to talk him into a change of mind before he plunged to his death on the pavement 13 stories below. I crawled out of the window and started inching my way along the narrow ledge. Went slow. I kept my eyes on Harrison. He stood about 10 feet away from me, looking down at the crowds jamming the streets below. I edged along to within 8 feet of him. He didn't seem to notice me. He was a fairly tall man, about 5'10", medium build, dark hair. He was wearing gray pinstripe trousers, a white shirt, no coat, no necktie. I got to within 6 feet of him. He raised one arm and made a motion with his fist at the crowd below.
Animals! You dirty bag of animals! You won't touch me! I'll stomp right through you! You won't even touch me!
I kept edging toward him. He still didn't seem to notice me. He turned his body a little. Kept pounding the side of the building with a hammer. I got a look at his right hand. In it, he held the carpenter's hammer. I got to within 5 feet of him. An airliner passed overhead. Harrison looked up. He muttered something, then he turned. He saw me.
I'm going to kill you.
It's all right with me, Walter. Why do you want to kill yourself? You're only going to hurt people.
You don't care about people. You don't care about me.
Well, what am I doing out here? Well, you got it wrong, Walter. A lot of people care about you. They want you back inside. They want you where it's safe.
You're another one of those. You want to get your hands on me. You want to grab me. Well, you're not. I'm going to kill you.
It's all right, Walter. You can kill me. I want to help you first.
You stay back. Don't you move anymore. I got this hammer, and I'll smash your face with it. I'll smash it.
I only want to talk to you. I know we can straighten this out.
I'll do it my way, you understand? My way. I know who you are. You've been after me before. I know what it's all about.
Yeah, I know you do, Walter, but you got it wrong. Now, look, you're going to jump off this building at 2 o'clock. That's in 15 minutes.
That's right. You bet I am.
All right, now, let's talk it over for 5 of those minutes, huh? Can't do any harm. I'm not going to hurt you. How about it, okay?
Why should I talk to you?
Because I care about what happens to you. So does your sister. So do a lot of people.
Well, then you're like a lot of people. You want to get your hands on me. Like those animals down there, the whole dirty pack of them. They want to grab onto me, get all around close and put their hands on me. Well, they're not going to do it.
Of course they're not. Nobody's going to hurt you. You know that, don't you?
You bet your life they're not. You see that dirty pack down there? Well, they don't know it, but I'm going to jump right through them. I'm going to jump right through all of them. They won't even touch me, and I can do it right now.
Wait a minute, Walter. Don't forget your promise.
What are you talking about? What promise?
2 o'clock. You wrote that down yourself. You said you wouldn't jump until it was 2 o'clock, didn't you?
That was no promise. I just wrote it down, that's all. Just 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, your sister believed it. We gave her the note. She says that you promised. Now, you going to make a liar out of yourself?
You're the liar. Ruth didn't say that. She didn't say it was a promise.
You got to take my word for that. All right, let's go in and ask her. How about it?
See Ruth inside?
Sure. Come on. Come on, take my hand, Walter.
All right. I'll take your hand.
Watch your step. Look out, will you?
You get back there. Get back. Now, next time I won't miss. I'll smash the whole arm. You think you're pretty smart, don't you? You're trying to trick me. Well, I told you before. I know who you are. You're trying to get your hands on me.
You promised your sister 2 o'clock. You're still going to break that promise?
I'm not like you and that pack down there. I don't break promises.
Everybody knows that, Walter. They trust you. Now, come on. How about talking this thing out?
What time is it?
1:46. 14 minutes to go.
You're lying. How do I know that's the time?
Well, you can look at my watch. Here, right here.
No, you stand back. I told you before. You stay away from me.
I just wanted to show you the time, that's all. All right, you can look at that big clock up the street, see? The one on the side of the Hobart building up there?
14 minutes. How do I know that's right? How do I know they're not in with you, too?
You already said it. Big company. They don't care about you or me. They got a business to run. Their clock, they don't care what happens.
No, of course not. They don't care. All right, well, I'll just keep an eye on that clock.
All right. You don't mind if I talk while you wait, do you?
That plane, what's it doing up there?
Well, it's just an airliner. Probably on its way into Burbank.
You're not fooling me. That plane's been by before. It's flying low, too.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice it. Well, what difference does it make?
Probably watching. Flying back and forth. Maybe they're the police. They're trying to do something. They're trying to get their hands on me.
Well, let's see. Yeah. Might be their plane. It's a big one.
Sure, they're trying to do something. Coming right by here, flying low. It's the same one. I can see. Look, you see there on the wing?
Yeah, what's that?
The number right there on the wing. It's the same one that passed over a few minutes ago. Hey, you get away from me!
All right, Walter, give me that.
I'm going to kill you.
Give it to me. That's it, Walter.
You thought you tricked me. You didn't know I had my pocket knife. Well, I can kill you with it now. I can kill you right now.
Yeah. I told you before, it's all right with me. Look out there. Watch your step on the ledge, will you?
I should have cut your hand off. I should have cut your whole arm off and thrown it to those animals down there. Look at that blood all over your hand.
Well, I'm sorry, Walter. It's not your fault. I just wanted to talk the whole thing over to tell you how your sister feels about it.
You're a liar. I knew it when I looked at you. Now you get away. You get away before I kill you.
Look, there's only one thing I can tell you. Your sister Ruth's sitting inside there, and she's worried sick. She's waiting for you. She wants to take you home. Now, how about it? There's no reason for all this. You know that, don't you?
Do I?
Sure you do. Your sister and your family, they care about you. They want you home again. They want you with them. There's no reason to be standing out here now, is there?
You wait till 2 o'clock, mister.
Yeah.
I'll show you the reason.
1:48 p.m. 12 minutes left. I made my way along the ledge, through the window, back into the office. Dr. Wright, a man who'd been treating Walter Harrison for his mental sickness, was already there with Dr. Turner. While the nurse bandaged up my hand, Captain Steed, Ben, and I talked with him.
I've treated Harrison for 10 years, on and off, I guess. He showed some improvement, not much. Definite paranoid tendencies.
Did he ever try this before, Dr. Wright?
Not to my knowledge. His sister might tell you more. I really don't know what to advise you to do. He's never been this violent before, using a hammer, a knife.
There you are, Sergeant. That feel all right?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
There's only one thing I've got to know, Doctor. Is it worth letting another one of my men go out there on that ledge?
I'm afraid that's your decision, Captain. It may help, it may not. I know the patient, but I can't read his mind.
I was just thinking. We might bring Harrison's sister to the window and have her talk to him. Think that might help, Doctor?
Very possible it might. In a spot like this, I'm in the same boat you are. It's all guesswork.
You think Harrison's really going to be ready to jump at 2 o'clock, Doctor?
From what Sergeant Friday tells me, yes, I think he'll jump.
We got to come up with something. We can't just stand around and watch a guy take a dive down 13th story.
I wish I knew the answer.
There's got to be one someplace. There's got to be an answer.
Well, let's check your watch. We got 10 minutes to find it.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. And now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos, the finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima for a new year of greater smoking enjoyment. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's the sworn duty of the peace officer to protect the lives of the citizens of the community in which he serves. That isn't always limited to protecting the citizens from criminals and lawbreakers. Oftentimes, the citizen has to be protected from himself. The drunken driver can do as much harm to his own person as he can to others. The same for the narcotic addict. The same for mental incompetence, such as Walter Harrison. If he was being assaulted, robbed, or shot at by a gunman, it would have been no more serious. Harrison's life was in jeopardy. Trying to save him had to be the first consideration. 1:50 p.m. Sergeant Jack Wiseman inched his way out on the ledge of the 13th story and kept Walter Harrison busy talking. Anything to keep his mind off the jump. Captain Steed got on the phone and talked to the manager of the Hobart building, a 12-story structure 3 blocks away with a large clock set into either side of it. The same clock Harrison was keeping time by.
Yeah, that's right, just so you don't make it look too obvious. Okay, Mr. Walsh, thank you. They're going to do all they can. Let's hope it works.
Yeah, what'd he say?
They're going to start slowing down the clock in the building right away. If Harrison goes by that time, it's going to be a long 10 minutes.
Well, how much they figure they can stretch it?
About 5 or 6 minutes without making it look too obvious.
We can sure use it. Let's hope Harrison doesn't catch on.
Manager said they'll stop the clock when it's a minute to go. It'll never reach 2 o'clock.
Skipper.
Yeah, Romero.
I just checked with the rescue squad down the street. They're stringing out more nets.
Yeah?
They're not guaranteeing anything.
How do you mean?
They're worried about those ledges jutting up from the building every other floor. They say if Harrison jumps close enough, he's bound to hit one of them. If he does, he'll be dead before he reaches street level. Nets down there won't do him any good.
Well, nothing we can do about it. Something else we'll have to hand over to luck.
Have they come up with any ideas, Ben?
Just one. Sounds like it could work.
What's that?
They figured like we did. The overhang on the roof is too wide to lower a man directly down on top of Harrison to grab him.
Yeah?
They think it might work if they try this. Put a man in a rope sling just over the edge of the roof. Lower him down toward Harrison as close as possible without tipping him. Give him a good line. Let him try to rope Harrison.
I don't know.
They got any candidates to try it?
Yeah, one. The guy's been on the rescue squad for years. Supposed to be an expert with a lasso.
Captain?
Might do it. I don't know.
Yeah. What happens if he misses Harrison?
Who knows? What happens if Harrison jumps?
Captain? I just got off that ledge in a hurry. He came at me with that knife.
Is he any closer to the window?
He backed off again. Something else, that clock in the Hobart building.
Yeah?
Pretty sure he's wise to that gimmick. He's given it up.
What do you mean?
The 2 o'clock deadline. He's not going to wait for it.
1:55 p.m. A specially equipped police car with loudspeakers mounted on the roof was rushed to the intersection of 3rd and Temple Streets opposite the Fitzroy building. Sergeant Jack Wiseman took Walter Harrison's sister, Ruth, down in the elevator to the street. She got on the police car microphone and started talking to her brother over the loudspeakers. Word was passed to the special detail of men from the fire department's rescue squad standing by on the roof of the building. They went to work. Captain Steed went up to the roof to see if he could assist them. Ben and I waited in the office on the 13th floor. The nurse, Miss Lenahan, and Jean Bechtel were with us. 1:57 p.m. The men on the roof started to lower the man from the rescue squad in a rope sling. He held a double-strength lasso in his hands. The end of it was wrapped around his body and tied securely. Ben and I watched from the window. We looked along the narrow ledge. Walter Harrison stood erect and motionless, an open pocket knife in one hand, his feet poised on the brink of a 13-story jump. The voice of Harrison's sister drifted up from the loudspeakers down on the street.
Walter? This is Ruth, Walter. Can you hear me? This is Ruth. I want you to come home with me, Walter. Please. You've got to understand.
Sister's doing all right. Finish it for sure if he looks up.
Yeah, sure will.
There's nothing wrong. No one's going to hurt you. We want to help you, Walter. Please.
I can't see, Joe. They're letting the man down?
Yeah, coming slow.
There's
Wait a minute.
nothing to be afraid of. You know that, don't you? Come home with me, please. I'll take care of you. I'll see that you're safe. That you're all right.
Joe, how's Harrison doing? Can you see?
Yeah, he's looking down, not moving at all.
Nobody's going to hurt you, believe me. These people are your friends. They want to help you. Can you hear me, Walter? They want to help you.
That's it.
What?
Man coming down on the rope. He's just above Harrison now.
They're your friends. You can trust me, your sister Ruth. You've got to trust me, Walter. I want to take care of you. I want to take you home.
Yeah, I see the man now. He's right above me. Got the lasso ready.
Keep your fingers crossed.
What is it? What's happening?
The lasso. He's throwing it.
Get him away from me!
Missed, Joey, missed.
Walter, wait a minute. Harrison!
No, I'm alive. Get him away from me. Get him away!
Pull that man up. Pull him out of the way.
That doesn't.
Oh, he's still on the ledge. I'm going out.
Joe, wait a minute.
Yeah?
It's only a chance.
Yeah?
Why don't you get him mad at you? Say anything, insult him.
Well, I'll try.
Anything to make him go for you. If you can get him down to this window, I can grab him.
If I get him by the window, I'll hold on to him, huh?
Yeah. When you grab him, try to lean as close to the building as you can.
There's not much to lean on the other way. 1:59 p.m. I got through the window and out onto the ledge. The crowds jamming the streets below had swollen to almost twice their size. A few blocks away, the big clock on the side of the Hobart building read 5 minutes to 2, but Harrison wasn't looking at it. He still had his eyes fixed on the pavement 13 stories beneath us. He'd torn off his collar and his shirt was ripped open at the neck. He waved his arms and shouted at the crowd below as he tottered along the ledge toward the corner of the building, away from the window that I was supposed to lure him into. In his right hand, he still held onto the open pocket knife.
So you're not going to get your hands on me. You're not even going to get close.
Wait a minute, Harrison. Watch it.
You watch me, mister. I'm going to jump right through them down there. Those dirty animals. You just watch.
All right, wait a minute. I got a message for you from your sister Ruth. Now, do you want to hear it?
You won't get your hands on me. None of you. I'll see you later, mister.
You're a phony, Harrison. You're a phony liar.
I'm a what?
You heard me.
You're not kidding anybody.
You don't think I can jump, huh? Well, you just what?
Anybody can jump. Any phony can do that.
What?
It doesn't take anything. Those animals down there in the street, any one of them could do that. You're just like one of them.
I've still got this knife. I've used it before. I can kill you.
You couldn't kill anything. You haven't got the guts. You're a phony.
You're a liar. You're a rotten liar. I can cut you to pieces.
Oh, you talk big, Harrison, but you're all talk.
I can cut you to pieces.
You haven't got me fooled, mister. Not for a minute.
I'll cut you to pieces.
You haven't got half the nerve. You're a phony and you know it.
You're a rotten liar. You stand still. Go on. You stand still and I'll show you.
Oh, you talk a real good game, but that's about all. You're all talk.
I'll show you. I still have my knife and I'll kill you right now.
Yeah, sure you will.
You're backing away. You're afraid.
You're a phony, Harrison. Nobody's afraid of a phony.
Cut you up good.
I'm waiting for you. Come on. What's the matter, Harrison?
You're not waiting. Stand still and stop backing away. Now stop!
I'll tell you, you come and get me, huh? Haven't you got enough nerve? Or you're just talking again? All talk, huh?
That window. You've got to stop by the window and then I'll cut you to pieces.
All right, Harrison. Here. Now you go ahead. Prove you're a phony.
All right. I'll show you. You rotten liar.
All right, Walter, now drop it.
I can't kill you. You rotten liar. I'll cut you to pieces.
Drop it.
Joe, look out. Grab them. They're going to fall.
Well, how close can it get?
Here. Nurse?
That was just wonderful, Sergeant, both of you. Are you all right?
Yeah, fine. Would you mind getting Captain Steve for us, please? You know who he is.
Oh, surely, right away.
Well,
Yeah, it was a rough one.
yeah, Dad, looked like you were both going over the side.
Yeah.
Thought I'd lost you, Joe.
Oh, you didn't have to worry.
No?
No. You told me which way to lean.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On September 10th, a sanity hearing was held at the County Hospital Psychopathic Ward, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that hearing.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, there's one big difference in long cigarettes, and here's the one sentence that tells the full story. In Fatima, the difference is quality. That's why this headline is being featured in leading national magazines. Yes, these new Fatima full-page color ads are another proof of Fatima's fast-growing popularity. More long cigarette smokers are insisting on Fatima quality than ever before. Now, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, buy a pack of extra mild Fatimas. You'll find, as I have, that Fatimas now cost the same, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
After being examined by 6 psychiatrists, Walter John Harrison was judged mentally incompetent. On his sister's request, he was committed to a private sanitarium. 7 months later, Harrison took his own life by hanging. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with Stories of Today on NBC.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. For 3 months, you've been tracking a pair of holdup men. There's no pattern to their operation. They're young. They're brutal. Your job, stop them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Sunday, March 3rd. It was raining in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Harry Didion, captain of robbery. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from the neighborhood bakery shop, and it was 8:45 a.m. when I got to Collis Avenue. Number 4656.
Joe?
Yeah.
What happened? Wasn't the bakery open?
Oh, yeah, it was open. I got the stuff right here.
Oh. They have any raisin bread?
Yeah, right here.
How about the butterhorn?
No, they don't make those on Sundays anymore. I got bear claws instead.
Okay, well, let's get this stuff open.
Okay. All right, here we are.
Mm-hmm. Where do you keep your eggs?
In the refrigerator, right over there.
Uh-huh.
Find them?
Yeah, I got 'em. You know, Joe, I don't like to say anything, but I can't keep coming over here to your place every morning.
Well, it was your idea. Nobody asked you.
Yeah, but I know how you are. You don't know how to cook a decent breakfast for yourself.
Is the coffee ready yet?
No, it's not perking yet. Hey, you sure there's nothing wrong with this pot? It's been on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, you forgot to plug it in.
Oh, uh-huh. Now, let's see.
Well, what do you want?
Well, better put the toast on.
Do you always make the toast before you cook the eggs?
Yeah.
You remember yesterday the toast was pretty cold.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I better hold off for a minute.
Yeah.
Scrambled eggs okay?
Well, we had them yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that the only way you know how to fix them?
I know what you'd like. One of my Spanish omelets. When did you say your mother was coming back?
Oh, in about 3 more days.
Yeah, that'll make a week, won't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I guess I can work something out with Amy. Wife doesn't like me coming over here every morning like this.
Well, I told you before, I can make out all right here.
Oh, I know how it is. You think you're imposing. You'd be lost without your can opener.
Say, is this omelet of yours going to take very long? We haven't got very much time, you know.
I'll have it on your plate in a jiffy. What time are we supposed to see those victims?
9:30 at the county hospital.
Where's your tomatoes?
In the refrigerator.
Oh, uh-huh.
23 jobs in 3 months. Those guys really move, don't they?
Yeah. Nice tomatoes, Joe.
That Hollenbeck job last night. Vicious punks.
Yeah, there's no reason to work the old man over the way they did. What'd the doctor say?
Well, he's going to get over it all right, but they kicked out all of his front teeth. He's 50 years old.
Same M.O. Every job.
Aren't you going to peel those?
No, skins are good for you. Now, you got a nice big Bermuda? Bermuda onion.
Oh, yeah. I'll get you one.
Kids. 19, 20-year-old stick-up artists. Knock a man's senses for $50. Robbing, slugging, kicking their way around the city.
Yeah.
This'll be one bunch I'll be glad to catch up with.
Here's your onion.
Good.
Well, now, wait a minute. You're going to peel that, aren't you?
And lose half the flavor?
I don't know. I always peel them.
Let's see now. There now. Now mix the whole works together.
You going to put it in that pan on the stove there?
Yes, sir.
Looks pretty hot, doesn't it? It's smoking.
Joe, that's the way you cook a Spanish omelet. Hot fire and fast. Now, into the pan. The whole trick in making a good Spanish omelet is you got to work fast.
Where are all those little brown flakes on the top there? Oh, the onion skins. No, I don't know. That doesn't look right to me.
Wait till you taste it.
I got it. Friday talking.
Elton Young, Joe. Romero there with you?
Yeah, he's here.
You two are supposed to see those robbery victims at the county hospital this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, at 9:30.
Well, cancel that out. Gonzalez and Powers are covering on that.
Yeah, how come?
Just got the call. South Grand and Colonial, 211 and slugging. Same description. Looks like the kid bandits.
All right, we'll get right on it.
It's a newsstand near the corner.
Right. Bye.
Look at that, Joe. I just took it out of the pan.
Yeah.
Best Spanish omelet I ever made.
That's too bad. We're not going to have time to eat it. 8:55 a.m. We left the house and drove to the scene of the holdup, one door from the corner of South Grand and Colonial Avenue. The victims were Mr. and Mrs. John Wilden, proprietors of a small newspaper and soft drink stand just off the intersection. Mrs. Wilden was being carried to a waiting ambulance when we got there. She was unconscious. From her forehead to her chin, her face was a swollen mass of welts. Her nose had been broken, and she had fractures of the jaw and cheekbone. Her husband, John Wilden, age 56, had a single bruise on his forehead over his left eye. We questioned him after the ambulance attendants gave him first aid. His description of the holdup men tallied almost perfectly.
One was a redhead, the other one had dark hair. Both about the same height. I'd say they're as tall as you are, officer.
Matches, Joe. Kid Bandit.
Yeah. Had you ever seen either one of these men before, Mr. Wilden, around the neighborhood, maybe?
No, never did. I don't know why they picked on Madeline and me for a holdup. We'd never been robbed before. We just got this little hole in the wall here. I don't see how it could look worthwhile to any crook.
You usually open up this early on Sunday morning?
Oh, yeah. Sunday's one of our big days. You see, we handle all the Sunday papers. You get our big trade from the people going to church up the street there. St. Joseph's?
Yes, sir, I see.
After the church lets out, most of the people head down this way and pick up their Sunday papers. We sell about 15, 20 papers after every Mass. It's a nice little business, you know. We close up after 12:15.
Well, when did the holdup take place? Can you remember that, sir?
Well, I'd say 8:30, a few minutes after. I went down to the Athens Cafe down the street there. I wanted to get some change. I left Madeline here to handle the counter. Madeline, that's my wife.
Yes, sir.
And when I got back, she wasn't behind the counter. I took a look behind here and saw her cash box laying on the cement there, empty, and I didn't know what to think.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do then?
Well, I pushed through this door here. It's a little dinky storeroom just back at the counter. It's where we keep our supplies, candy and soda water.
You mind if we take a look, sir?
No, not at all. Come right ahead. You see, when I came in, first thing I saw was Madeline. That's my wife. And she was lying there on the boards moaning, had her hands over her face. The two young fellows were standing over her, and both had guns.
Mm-hmm. What did they do when they saw you?
And they grabbed me and asked for money. I told them I didn't have any. I began to holler for help. One of them slugged me with his gun, then they ran out. Still a little shaky. You mind if I sit down a minute?
Go ahead, sir. Oh, here. Let me get this box for you.
Thank you.
Say, I wonder if we could get you some water or maybe a cold drink from the cooler.
Oh, no. But you'll find a half pint behind those cases over there. A little brandy I keep put away.
Oh, over here?
Yes, that's right. Behind those cases. I don't usually drink on Sundays. This is an exception, I guess.
Here you are, Mr. Wilden.
What's that on the floor there, Ben? No, near your foot there.
Oh, let's see. Oh, the light's not very good. Oh, book of matches.
Yeah. Are these yours, Mr. Wilden, these matches?
No, I don't carry them.
Well, your wife's, I guess, huh?
I don't think so. Neither one of us smoke.
What's that ad printed on the back here?
Big Ten Cafe. Steaks, chopped, short orders. Open all night. West Pico. Do you handle cigarettes and cigars, there, sir?
No, sir. Candy and soft drinks, newspapers, that's all.
Oh, inside of the matchbook cover, Joe. Some scribbling on it.
George Bell, S. Cameron, 5th and Alameda. Do you recognize this at all, Mr. Wilden?
Big Ten Cafe. No, I've never been there.
Now, how about the names here, inside the cover?
George Bell, S. Cameron. No, I never heard of him.
When you first came in here, Mr. Wilden, do you remember where the holdup men were standing?
Not too well. Well, one was over there, and one was over there, I think.
Could be, Joe. One of them might have dropped it.
Trace them from that matchbook? Do you think that's possible?
I don't know yet.
How would you trace them that way? Analysis? Some kind of scientific work?
No, sir. Legwork. 9:28 a.m. We call Leighton Fingerprints. As soon as they arrived, we dropped Mr. Wilden off at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital to see his wife. Ben and I drove back to the office. We had the crime report typed up and got out a supplementary broadcast on our original APB. We asked Frank Cunningham and R&I to run the names George Bell and S. Cameron through the files for a possible mate. We checked with the restaurant advertised on the cover of the matchbook, the Big Ten Cafe. The manager of the cafe failed to recognize either the names on the matchbook or the descriptions of the holdup men. 9:52. We checked back in at the office.
I'll get it. Robbery, Romero? Yeah, Frank. Yeah. Good, right. Thank you.
Cunningham?
You got a make on the name George Bell. Another one for Sam Cameron. Both of them run together. Got long juvenile record.
Good. You got an address on them?
Yeah. Won't be hard to run down.
What do you mean?
Main jail.
5 days before, George Bell, a laborer, and Samuel Cameron, a part-time jewelry salesman, had been booked at the main jail on charges of being drunk and disorderly. The day after his arrest, Cameron was bailed out. Bell was still in the drunk tank. Ben and I went down to the main jail and talked to him. He didn't fit the description of either of the bandits. He was very cooperative, but he stated that he'd been very drunk and he couldn't remember too much.
Just don't know, Sergeant. Sam and I went out and tied one on. When it came to, we were here in the drunk tank.
You have no idea at all how your names got on this matchbook.
I'm trying to think. We're pretty well heated up, Sam, I think. That's another thing, that dirty Sam.
What do you mean?
You get the friend of his to come up here and bail him out. Think you'd do anything for me? No. I bought the liquor. He lets me sit here now. Dirty Sam.
You think he might remember about that matchbook?
I don't know. I'm disgusted with him. If you see him, you can tell him that. Just let him know he's off my list.
How about the address here on the matchbook, George? It says 5th and Alameda. Doesn't that mean anything to you? Were you and Cameron hitting some of the spots around that area?
No, we were messing around over in Dogtown. Didn't get down by Alameda at all.
Well, it must have some tie-in for you. 5th and Alameda?
No. The only guy I know down there is Sanchez. Wait a minute.
Yeah?
Just a minute. Sanchez. Gus Sanchez, sure. I wanted to see Gus. I thought he'd put up there for us.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got it now. I think I have anyway. It was the morning after, and I woke up here in the tank. Oh, a big head, you know. Really whipped.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first thing I thought of was out. Figured Gus Sanchez might pop for bail. A friend of mine, you know. Gus works at the bar at 5th and Alameda. That's it.
Well, how's the tie-in?
This other mooch is in the tank next to me. Somebody's popped bail for him, and he's getting out in an hour. So I asked him to call Gus for me, and he said he would. He wrote my name down, and he wrote down Sam's, too. That dirty Sam. And he took down Gus's address. Yeah, 5th and Alameda.
You remember what this man looked like when he took your name?
Oh, let's see. No, everything was going around. He's kind of tall, I know.
Would you remember him if you saw him again?
Guy did me a favor. I'd remember him. Not like that dirty Sam.
Well, how about his name? Did he tell you that?
No, I didn't ask him. I should have, huh?
You sure about the day this man was released?
Positive. The same day I came in, Tuesday.
Well, okay, Bell. Thanks very much. We'll be checking back with you.
Yeah, all right. Hey, what about this guy? You got a bait with him?
Well, maybe, if he's the one we want.
Yeah, what'd he do?
He lost his matches. Ben and I left the drunk tank and went down the hall to check with the officer in charge. We paged through the release book and found that 7 men had been bailed out or discharged from the jail on the previous Tuesday. We went back to the record bureau and had them pull the mug shots on all 7 men. Then we took the pictures back to the drunk tank and showed them to George Bell.
No. No. Yeah, this one, I think. Can't be sure. I think that's him.
George Bell had tentatively identified the mugshot of a Fred Gunther, WMA, 21 years old. Gunther had a previous record of grand theft auto, purse snatching, and drunk charges. His picture matched closely with the description of one of the suspects. 4 a.m., we contacted the Kid Bandit's most recent victim, John Wilden, at his home. We asked him to look at the same group of mugshots that we'd shown to George Bell.
Here, this here. Here's one of them.
You sure, Mr. Wilden?
He's the one who slugged me. Who is he?
His name's Fred Gunther.
Oh, then you know him. You want me to identify him?
Yes, sir, when we find him.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action. Now, here's an authentic report from Fatima Cigarettes.
1949. Fatima more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. 1950. Another record-breaking year, with more long cigarette smokers insisting on Fatima quality than ever before.
In 1951, enjoy Fatima quality yourself.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean, golden yellow package. Carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Compare Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Start enjoying Fatima quality yourself. Insist on Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Monday, March 4th, 9 a.m. We checked out the suspect, Fred Gunther. No trace of him at any of his previous addresses. We began checking with the other victims of the Kid Bandits. After a day and a half of legwork, we sat down and figured up the results. More than two-thirds of the victims definitely tabbed Gunther as one of the holdup men. The next step was the record bureau. We had them pull the packages on every one of Gunther's known friends and associates. There were more than 30 of them. We had mugshots pulled on each one of them and made the rounds of the victims for the second time. Approximately half of the victims had singled out one picture as that of Gunther's partner in the holdup. We pulled the package on the man and checked his mama sheet. His name was Harold Reimers, WMA, age 19. Previous record included car stripping and one charge ADW, no convictions. Friday, March 8th. We continued our check of the friends and associates known to the two suspects, Gunther and Reimers. We got nowhere. 2 weeks passed. On March 23rd, we got a tip from an informant about a girlfriend of Fred Gunther's, a vocalist working at a downtown dance hall during intermissions.
Long haul.
Yeah, one more flight.
Mm-hmm. Climb 4 flights of stairs and then they expect you to dance.
Yeah. Well, I guess this is it. Yeah, come on.
Big enough floor, huh?
Well, it shows a little wear. The place has been here for years.
Look at those walls and that ceiling. Sure could use a fresh coat of paint.
Her name's Stanley, is that right?
Yeah, that's it.
Excuse me? Your name Lorraine Stanley?
Yeah, that's right. Sweet Lorraine, that's my billing. You with the band?
No, we're police officers. I'd like to talk to you for a minute if we can.
Oh, sure, all right. I was just rehearsing a little. What's it about, officer?
Do you know a Fred Gunther, Miss Stanley?
Fred? Yeah, I know him. I used to be engaged to Fred.
You happen to know where he is now?
No, I don't. Guess I haven't heard from him in 3-4 months. Usually looks me up when I'm in town. Maybe he's sore about something, I don't know.
Has he contacted you at all?
Not since I got back from Bakersfield a month ago. I played 32 weeks in Bakersfield, the Ramble Inn. Sure hated to leave, nice place.
Mm-hmm. Where does Gunther stay in town? Do you happen to know that?
Used to be that hotel on South Flower. Called him there, but they said he moved. Used to like Fred a lot. Not enough to marry him, though.
Do you have any idea where he might have gone, where we could contact him?
No, I really don't. Nothing wrong, is there, about Fred, I mean?
No, it's just a routine investigation. We'd like to talk to him.
What's it about? Can you tell me?
It's a robbery investigation. We want to locate Gunther. Do you happen to know any of his friends here in the city?
No. Maybe that's why he didn't call. He's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Robbery? Is that it?
Well, we just like to talk to him, that's all.
Well, if he's done something wrong, I'm not going to hide him. I can't afford to get mixed up in it. I've got a career to think about. I've worked too hard to throw it away.
Well, how about the places Gunther usually visits, Miss Stanley? Bars, restaurants. You know any of those?
Well, I remember a few. I can give you the names if you like. Poor Fred. I hope he didn't do it for me.
Ma'am?
Well, Fred says he's in love with me. I don't know. He thinks I want money. Maybe that's why he's doing it. I told him, but he never believed me. All I want is my career.
Well, do you think that Gunther might come around here to see you?
Probably. He usually does when I'm in town.
How about where you're living?
I'm staying at a different hotel this trip. He doesn't know where he is. Poor Fred. He's going to be awfully disappointed.
Hmm? How do you mean?
Oh, he said he was going to get money and buy a ring. He's going to marry me this time. Poor Fred. This is my new theme, officers. You like it?
Uh-huh. Just one more thing, Miss Stanley. If Gunther contacts you by phone, will you be sure and let us know?
All right, I'll do that. It's a beautiful theme, isn't it? Piano player in Bakersfield, he wrote it for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Fred understands. I don't want to hurt him, but I can't marry him. How do I make him understand? How do I explain it?
I don't think you'll have to, ma'am. Before we left Lorraine Stanley, we told her that if Gunther should contact her, not to tell him that she'd talked with us. Stakeouts were placed on the dance hall where she worked and at the hotel where she was staying. Gunther's known hangouts were also covered. The next night, the Kid Bandits were back in business. They hit twice, a liquor store on Franklin Avenue and a tavern on South Flower. Gunther and Reimers were again identified as the two suspects. The stakeouts continued. The search went on. 4 days later, we got a tip from the proprietor of a shoe shine stand on West Temple that Gunther's partner, Harold Reimers, had been seen entering a small hotel up the street from his stand. We drove over and checked with the desk clerk. He identified Reimer's mugshot. He told us that the suspect wasn't in, but that he was expected back that night. Ben and I went on stakeout in his hotel room. 7 p.m. Reimers failed to show.
Getting a little hungry, Joe. You?
Yeah. What time you got now?
20 after 7. Stomach's starting to growl. Hey, what's that, a parade?
Well, I don't think so. Let's see. Oh, it's the Salvation Army Band.
Oh, yeah, Saturday night. Might as well check the office, huh? See if we can't get a relief.
Yeah.
Would you get me Michigan 5211, please? Michigan 5211. Yeah, we'll pay for it, thanks. Would you close the window, George? A little noise.
Yeah, okay.
Robbery, please. Yeah, Young, this is from Merrill. How's that? It's yours? Okay, thank you. Gunther and Reimers, they pulled a holdup down South Main.
When?
20 minutes ago. Gunther got away.
Yeah.
They got Reimers.
7:45 p.m. Ben and I got back to the city hall and went to the interrogation room. Together with Young and Carr from robbery, we tried to question the suspect, Harold Reimers. We talked to him for over an hour. He refused to tell us anything. We took him to the main jail where he was booked on 211 PC. 9:15 p.m. We went back to the office.
I'll get it. Robbery, Romero. In just a minute. For you, Joe.
Okay, thanks. Friday talking.
Sergeant, this is Lorraine Stanley.
Yeah, Miss Stanley.
I'm over at work. The dance hall, you remember?
Yes, ma'am. Anything wrong?
Well, Fred just called me, Sergeant. I told the officers here. Fred Gunther?
Yes, ma'am. Where is he? Did he say?
No, all he said was he wanted to see me.
Yeah?
He said he was coming right over.
9:25 p.m. We called the men on stakeout at the dance hall and alerted them. Elton, Young, Ben, and I got in the car and drove over. We checked with the detail on stakeout. Gunther hadn't been spotted, but because of the large crowd entering and leaving the dance hall, it was possible that he could have gotten in unnoticed. We talked to the Stanley girl. She hadn't seen or heard anything further from the suspect. Ben and I staked out in her dressing room where Gunther said he'd meet the girl. It was a small converted storeroom at one end of the dance floor just behind the bandstand. Lorraine Stanley was on during the intermission. We waited.
What have you got, Joe?
Almost 10:30.
This guy must feel pretty sure of himself. He pulls a robbery, he's almost picked up, and 3 hours later he makes a date to show in a public play.
Well, he hasn't shown yet. I'm not too sure about that Stanley girl.
How do you mean?
Well, if she's that big an attraction for him. This is the only way out, huh? Besides that fire escape off the alley.
Yeah, Young's covering the alley.
Come on.
Down here, Joe! He got by me. He's up the alley behind one of those trucks.
He can't go far. That's a dead end.
Stay here, Young, and cut him off.
You all right?
Yeah, he slugged me, knocked me down. I didn't see him in the dark.
Come on, Ben.
Yeah.
Easy, huh?
You're dark.
Yeah.
Watch it behind that truck. Make room. I'm coming out.
Watch it, Joe. Missed him.
Coming at you, Young.
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. All right, stand still.
You want to stay with him, Young? We'll call in.
Yeah, right. Closest place, that little cafe off the alley to the left.
Thanks. Come on, Ben.
Yeah. I hear it,
Yeah, I guess they got a phone inside. Come on.
Wait a minute. As soon as we get Gunter downtown, we're going to come right back here.
What for?
Take a look at that fry cook in the window there.
Yeah, what about him?
That fella makes a Spanish omelet exactly like I do.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On July 19th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 86, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. Friends, if you're a long cigarette smoker like I am, remember, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Now, believe me, this difference is mighty important. So important that you'll always remember the first pack of Fatimas that you buy. Fatima's fast-growing popularity backs me up on that. But look, you can prove it to yourself by getting a pack of Fatimas tomorrow. You'll find that they now cost the same as other long cigarettes. And your first pack will convince you to go right on smoking them. Join me and the new thousands who enjoy Fatima's extra mildness, Fatima's rich, better flavor and aroma. You'll discover what all we Fatima smokers know. In Fatima, the difference is quality.
Fred Gunther and Harold Reimers were tried and convicted on several counts of robbery and assault. They received sentences as prescribed by law, and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with stories of today on NBC.